On Dispatches tonight, the darker side of soccer. The men who sexually abuse the young footballers in their care. In tonight's extended edition, Dispatches reporter Deborah Davis investigates the paedophile coaches. She persuades their victims to talk on camera and asks how the men who preyed upon them could stay undetected for so long.
Football was a forum for the abuse, and it was his link to put him in a position where there were lots of young people, lots of children around, in order to be able to select those people for abuse.
Barry Bennell was a star maker.
He was a Pied Piper with youngsters.
He ran youth squads for Manchester City, feeder teams for the main club.
And said, look, I will find you young players.
He's found England internationals Rob Jones of Liverpool, David White, Sheffield United, Andy Hinchcliffe, Everton, and teammate Wales international Garry Speed.
He's the one that's able to make or break people.
He's worked at Stoke City and Crewe Alexandra.
I don't think we'd been happy if we didn't win something each season. To win the league was something that was regular.
Ian joined a Derbyshire side which Barry Bennell ran and coached. The clear understanding was that Bennell would guide him to that coveted professional career with Manchester City.
What's happening here? Is he actually presenting medals?
Yeah, I think it was Player of the Year or something, and Most Improved Player.
When you come across photographs of Bennell like that, I just wonder what sort of feelings it stirs up in you.
Yeah, well, very mixed emotions. Very mixed emotions. I enjoyed the football, but you know, looking back on the other things that have happened, lots of regrets. Reminds me very much of the control he had basically over people, and how he had very much people in his grip.
He was very disciplinarian with regards to how much physical effort you put into the game and how much dedication you had towards it. And if you weren't prepared to dedicate yourself to it, then his attitude was, go and find another club to play with.
He expected boys to show their dedication by spending weekends and school holidays at his home, and there were rewards. Ian was 11.
It was everything that you weren't allowed to do at home. Video machines, all the videos you wanted to watch. It was takeaway meals, clothes and kit strewn everywhere. Freedom from your parents. Sat in his living room watching a video of some sort, sat on the sofa, and he he suggestively placed my hand on his crutch and then within his trousers, and I think, again, using the word hindsight a lot, but looking back in hindsight, I think that was a testing ground for him to see even what he could get away with. Very quickly, within the next visit or so, developed into oral sex. He started that by, again, it'd be sat in close proximity to him, watching a video or something, and he would almost forcibly, putting his hand on the back of my head, push my head down to his crutch to perform oral sex. And then from there, that very quickly then went into the bedroom, where for the first time he had me sleeping in his room. And at that stage there was nobody else besides himself and myself there. And then that developed very quickly into the full buggery and the full range of abuse. And then all types of abuse, the masturbation, the oral sex and the buggery, all continued very regularly on numerous occasions, like I've said before, and too many times to count, for 2 or 3 years at least.
Ian Ackley was not alone. Dispatches has seen statements from others now in their mid-20s confirming an identical pattern of abuse when they were 11 to 14.
He asked me to put my hand on him. Then he started touching me all over, my stomach, my arms, legs, my penis. Later, at his flat, there was oral sex. This happened probably 10 times, more than 10 times. I couldn't put an exact figure on it. Sometimes there was another boy in the bed with us.
All I can say is that when he was turned my way, I was being abused. When he turned the other way, then I have to assume that the similar things were going on. I think for him to have the confidence to have two people in a room besides himself, to have abused one person, and then to just casually turn over in bed, for me to say that I believe that person was completely safe and already fast asleep would be naive of me.
As each victim approached puberty, Bennell began recruiting a younger replacement.
We were sat in Barry's front room. We were sat in the settee. Barry put a video on, a pornographic film. He pulled down my trousers and underpants and started to masturbate me. I was 11 years old. I felt frightened. If I didn't go to his house, I would suffer. I'd be substituted in the team or taken off. I wouldn't be invited on trips to Blackpool or Alton Towers. Or I wouldn't be invited to see Manchester City.
He's found England internationals Rob Jones of Liverpool, David White, Sheffield United, Andy Hinchcliffe, Everton, and teammate Wales international Garry Speed.